So MSNBC demonstrated yet again that they're the worst, and they're not at all on the left. They are corporate, they are establishment, and they will back the Democratic leadership and the Democratic Party, but they ain't going to actually back the left. So look at Donnie Deutsch. He is going to give his breakdown after the Democratic debate. Take note of the advice that he gives to candidates here.
I quoted you on Nicole's broadcast as saying, if it's Warren, they'll lose 48 states. With that as the backdrop, how did you think they did tonight?
I want to work back from, to me, the moment where the room came alive, and to me, it's the ultimate tell. When Inslee said our biggest threat is Donald Trump. And that, to me, still is what is driving voters and still was not touched tonight. The reason some people reacted positively to de Blasio, because you saw another bully up there. He was kind of invading other people's spaces. Cory Booker had a strength. The reason people have not gone after it to this point, Biden, is because he is seen as the anti-Trump, and it will backfire at this point until he's not. So to me, that is the big thing, and it was not addressed tonight. This is not an issues campaign. This is who is the bully that can beat the bully. And I think, interestingly enough, Booker showed a certain strength there. Even de Blasio, even though I found him annoying also, he cut through. And I think that is the driver. It's not issues. It's not universal health care. It's not a woman's reproductive rights, as important as that is. We have lived through all these things before. We've lived through Iran. We have lived through Korea. We have lived through issues on health care. We have not lived through an assault on our democracy and an assault on our senses. That is what everybody is lensing everything through. So I don't think Warren moved that ball particularly. I do think, interestingly enough, Booker did move that ball.
Donnie, just to keep your frame around this, I've got a list of who dropped Trump's name the most. And you're right, Warren didn't mention Donald Trump. Neither did de Blasio, based on this list. Amy Klobuchar invoked Donald Trump 9 times, and Tim Ryan second with 7. Do you think that an opportunity was missed to sort of indict all of the moral and legal and ethical and policy trespasses of the Trump years? And if you do, why do you think they made that decision? It was obviously a strategic choice made
it's the wrong. Some people want to hear somebody stand up and say, this is a horrific assault on who we are on every level, everything we stand for. And he needs to go, and I'm the one to take him out. People are yearning for that. They are crying for that. You heard it even in that applause to Jay Inslee, who other than that had a very bad night. I don't understand how people don't know that. That supersedes everything else 10x.
Spoken like a truly out-of-touch, rich douche. So his philosophy is, I don't understand what you're wasting time for on the issues. Just be really anti-Trump. If you are the most anti-Trump, you're going to win this election. That's it. Oh, really, Donnie? That's it? See, the only way anybody can make themselves believe that is if they have all their needs taken care of. So Donnie Deutsch, he doesn't have to worry about paying bills. He doesn't have to worry about going bankrupt because he needed surgery out of nowhere. He doesn't have to worry about student loan debt. He doesn't have to worry about, not making enough money, getting no vacation time, and not making a living wage even though he works full-time. He doesn't have to worry about any of that stuff. He's perfectly comfortable. So in his narrow worldview, well, what do you mean? The problem, there's no larger problem. There's no policy-related, issues-related problem. The only issue that I see that's bad is like Trump does a lot of unhinged tweets, and he's really embarrassing, and he sometimes he goes nuts, and I don't like the guy. I don't like the way he presents himself. I don't like how unhinged he is. He's an assault on our democracy and on our senses. So obviously the problem is that guy. Just remove that guy and we're fine. Except that, then how do you explain how we got Trump in the first place? We basically had the epitome of the anti-Trump before Trump. I mean, Barack Obama is, a young, intelligent black dude who was a constitutional law professor who was, basically a centrist at heart. And still, under that system, people went, I'm going to roll the dice and go with this fucking lunatic, Trump. Why? Why would they do that? Why would they do that? Do you have any theory to explain that, Donnie Deutsch? No, you don't. You have none, because your argument is, let's just go back to what it was before Trump. All we got to do is get rid of Trump and we're good. No, see, the problem is, even if you get rid of Trump, you have 76% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck. You have 50% of the American people making $30,000 a year or less. You have 30 to 40 million Americans who are uninsured. You have 30 to 45,000 Americans who die every year because they don't have access to basic health care. You have the United States of America jailing more people than any other country on earth. And, we could sit here all day and ring off statistics about how the U.S. is in decline, how we waste all this money on war and on Wall Street bailouts as regular people struggle. $1.6 trillion in student loan debt. Over $1 trillion in credit card debt. We have a totally unregulated derivatives market, which is a goddamn ticking time bomb, and the economy is going to crash. We have, 500,000 homeless people? So you had all these problems, this disgusting, rotten system. Nobody was addressing it, so people went with the most extreme option, and they thought, I don't know, maybe he'll address it. Now, he didn't address it, but the idea that you don't run a campaign on the issues, you just run a campaign on him bad. Well, let me introduce you to somebody we all know by the name of Hillary Clinton. How'd that go? Her whole campaign was, break down your barriers, stronger together, platitudes and cliches. And isn't he terrible? Oh my God, look at him, he's so bad. Can't go with him, right? Can't go with him. I guess you guys have no choice. I guess you have to go with me. I guess I'm entitled to this position, right? Because what are you going to do? You're going to go with that guy? How'd that work out, Donnie Deutsch? How'd that work out? Listen, I shouldn't have to do this segment. I shouldn't have to say the things that I'm saying right now because I file it and you guys file it, most of you guys file it under obvious, under duh. But unfortunately, it's not all that duh to the idiots on TV. In fact, it's not duh at all. If anything, they think his position is filed under duh. Like, what do you mean? Just say you're against Trump and that's it. By the way, he said, the reason Bill de Blasio did well is because Bill de Blasio, he was being anti-Trump. Bill de Blasio postured himself as the furthest left candidate on stage. That's what he was trying to do. And that's why a lot of people after the fact were like, oh shit, he actually might be serious. Like, he had a good performance. It's actually because of the shit he was saying that was policy related. Like, he's so confused, but I shouldn't have to make this argument. What I'm saying should be obvious, but it's really not. And the prevailing conventional wisdom in Washington, D.C., in mainstream media, is exactly what he's saying. This isn't about the issues. Please, shut the fuck up. Don't tell people you're going to give universal health care. What are you doing? Don't tell people you're going to abolish student loan debt. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, you can be cool, be cool, be cool. Keep the status quo as it is. Just get rid of Trump. Well, as I said, that position he has is polluted by his own position in life. Yeah, he doesn't have to worry about bills. He doesn't have to worry about all these problems. He's a rich asshole on TV. So, listen, it didn't have to be that way. He didn't have to let that aspect of his life ruin his objectivity, but he did let that happen. So now he says stupid things like that, and he gets paid a tremendous amount of money to say it. So really, MSNBC and guys like Donnie Deutsch, they act as a gatekeeper on the Democratic side. So they act as like, okay, how far left can we all be? Well, we could all despise Trump. Oh yeah, Trump's so bad. Trump's so evil. Trump's so wrong. But don't go any further than that. Don't get into the details of it. Don't say, hey, here's a list of policy positions that I want because I think this is how we fix the country. Don't do that. So functionally, they're serving as left gatekeepers. You can go this far left and not any further. Well, bad news for Donnie Deutsch is now you have some competition, and that competition is fucking YouTube hosts. And here we are, and you have no chance in this battle. So please stop embarrassing yourself. I don't want to cover anything you say ever again. because you're a creepy loser. So stop it. Just stop. I don't know how this guy has a job, and actually I do. He probably knows whoever's his boss. And that's how he got his job. But yeah, this is the analysis, the deep analysis that's allowed on MSNBC. Trump bad. Trump bad. Wow, Donnie. Wow. What a brilliant thinker you are.